But this time I'm going to be getting back into my sweet spot, my wheelhouse, and that is a horror anime. Actually, it's sort of like a mystery horror anime, and the one that I'm going to be reviewing is. I'm just going to give you a little short synopsis. There's some weird stuff happening in this place called Yomiyama, and this kid who just transferred from Tokyo is gonna get himself all wrapped up into it, and it's a mystery filled with violence and intrigue and suspense and paranoia and madness, and it's filled with quite a bit of blood too, quite a bit of blood, quite a bit of death, and overall a very satisfying series. It's short, it's only 12 episodes, so it's paced quite well. It almost seems like it's over before it began, and I really wish that it could have been a longer series. But I mean, I guess it was only greenlighted for the 12 episodes. It couldn't be a 26 episode run, so they pack a lot of stuff in those episodes, and I wish there was a little bit more. But so let me just I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. It is no, actually, you know what? 4.5 out of 5. Fuck that. It is almost perfect in it's just a little short, not as deep and layered as masterpieces like Higurashi, but you only had 12 episodes, so it did what it could with what it had, and it packed it a lot in there, and so it's good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And so instead of how I would normally review as I go through and talk about things, I am in the opinion that movies like or not movies, I like videos, series like this, you need to know as little about this series as you can before you go and view it, because that's part of the fun. That's part of the awesomeness, is the mystery, the not knowing, the finding out, the figuring out, the you coming up with questions, coming up with ideas, theories, and seeing if they pan out or if they don't pan out. And that creates excitement and fun, and that's part of the draw of this series. And then of course going back and watching it again and seeing all those things that you didn't quite pick up on the first view, but that you can pick up now. And unfortunately, it's I watched it subtitled, so it's hard to watch everything going on the screen while you're trying to pay attention to the subtitles. That being said, here is how I'm going to review it, like about 4 minutes into this review. It begins with a myth, a story of a class 3, in Yomi North Junior High, where a student tragically dies mid-term, but the rest of the class pretends as if it never happened, pretends as if that student is still there, going so far as to having that student's seat represented in graduation. A photo of that year's class. People could swear that they see that dead student in that photo. What follows is years of tragedy, violence, and death. Why? All because that class allowed the dead in. 26 years later, a young boy from Tokyo named Koichi Sakakibara transfers to Yomi North and goes into that same class 3. His father doing work in India, so now he must live with his grandparents. His mother deceased just shortly after he was born. He starts his life in Yomiyama in a hospital. He has a lung condition. He is greeted by some fellow classmates, not too unusual. They give him notes from the first part of the term. They give him flowers, welcome, on behalf of the rest of the class. The third one says that she is the head of countermeasures. Questions him about whether he's lived in Yomiya before, or Yomiyama, my bad. whether or not they met before. Koichi says no, he doesn't believe so. She seems somewhat skeptical. This is strange. Countermeasures? I don't understand. Later, in that hospital, in an elevator, it's like almost out of nowhere, there was this girl wearing the same school outfit. She wears an eye patch. He's intrigued. He asks her, "What are you doing here?" And she says she's visiting someone, but she's heading towards the second basement. And there's nothing in the second basement except for the morgue. It is kind of strange. She's carrying a doll. Says it's a gift. His first day at class seems pretty normal. Everyone seems very nice and talkative. There's that girl with the eye patch. Her desk is all beaten up, run down, old, scratched, not new and nice like everyone else's. I thought that was strange. It almost seems as if people don't even notice her. He notices her. He even tries to talk to her, but she says that he shouldn't get involved with her. He asks why. She says you'll find out soon enough. He even tries to talk about her to other students. They're like, who? What are you talking about? Very strange. Almost like she doesn't really exist. He looks on her desk and sees a message. Who is dead? Question mark. What do you mean by that? And as the story progresses, we find out more truths about this curse for Class 3. And with it, tragedy, sorrow, depression, despair, violence, death, loss, hopelessness, anxiety, fear, madness, murder. All follows. A bloody crescendo till we get the final revelation. All mysteries solved. Maybe. Watch. Learn. Learn of the tragedy of Class 3. See how they fight. See how they die. Who is dead? Who is dead? Well, if you like this review, be sure to give it a like. If you're new, you can check out my channel. I've got a lot of other content.